Hi everyone, Radko explaining. In this video, we are going to look at how to write a matrix of a quadratic form. So how do you write the matrix of a quadratic form? So to write the matrix of a quadratic form is simply to do this trick that I'm going to show you here. So in this case, we are going direct into our examples and say write the matrix of the quadratic form below. So the first equation or the first quadratic form given is x squared plus y squared plus 4x. So how then are you supposed to write that one there? So if it's a 2 by 2, the first observation is check if the equation or the quadratic form given is having two variables. So in this case, we have only the variable x and the variable y. So in this case, what we're going to do is you draw this trick here. So we are going to draw this. We are saying that we have our question number A and we are writing the quadratic form of x squared plus y squared plus 4xy. So what you're supposed to do here is to just draw this cross like this, and then up there you put x, here you put y. Then down here you also put x and y. Then from there multiply this number with that, this with that, also this with that, that with that. That's what we're going to do. So by doing that, we are going to say x times x is x squared, x times y is xy, y times x is xy, and y times y is y squared. Then from here, what you're going to do is, after you've done that, multiply half to the elements which are not in the major diagonal. So the elements which are not in the major diagonal are this one. Okay. The elements which are not in the major diagonal are this one here and this one here. So by doing so, we are going to multiply halves there, which is 1 over 2 here, 1 over 2 there. Then those in the major diagonal remains the same. So this is what you're supposed to draw whenever you are getting the matrix of a quadratic form. So what does this mean? This means that the numbers in the major diagonal, pick them the way they are in the question. So you are just getting the coefficients of those variables, x squared and y squared, you put in the major diagonal. Then in the minor diagonal, check the component which is having x and y and divide it by 2. So you check the component which is having x and y and divide it by 2, which is going to be, in this case, we are going to have okay, so we are going to have open. We are now writing our answer for the matrix of this quadratic form. So we are saying that we are getting the numbers which are having x squared and y squared, putting them in the major diagonal, which are 1 and 1 there. So we put 1 in the major diagonal. Then in the minor diagonal, we are saying that we should pick the component which is having x and y and divide by 2. So we are picking this component which is having x and y and divide by 2, which is, in this case, it's 4. We divide by 2, we are going to get a 2. So in this case, we put a 2 here after dividing it by 2. Also here, we are picking a component which is having x and y and divided by 2. And in this case, it's still the what? The 4. So 4 divided by 2, we are going to get a 2 as well here. Alright, so we'll also get a 2. So once you do this, meaning that you've written the matrix of this quadratic form which is here. Alright, so that is for a 2 by 2. Now, if you're writing for a 3 by 3, meaning that you are also going to have 3 variables. In this case, you are going to have the variable x, the variable y, and the variable z. Alright, so that's what you're going to do. Consider that this one also is having a square here. So when writing a matrix of a quadratic form of 3 variables, what we're supposed to do is simply to say, so we're going to write our question here, which is having x squared plus y squared minus z squared, then plus 4xy minus 8xz, and then plus 6yz, like that. So now for you to write a matrix of a quadratic form for a 3 by 3, you start by drawing the same trick that I've shown you, where you say x, y, z, and then also here x, y, z. Then you multiply x times x is x squared, x times y is xy, and x times z is xz. Then we come here, y times x is xy, and then y times y is y squared, y times z is yz. Then you come here, you have z times x is xz, z times y is yz, and then z times z is z squared, like that. So that means this becomes our matrix of a quadratic form. But don't forget that the numbers which are not in the major diagonal should always be divided by half. except those in the major diagonal. So these that are not in the major diagonal, these should all be divided by half. So we're going to say this will be divided by half, this will be divided by half, or 1 over 2, or 2 rather. Then this also by that, this also by this also by that, this also by half. So that means those elements which are in the major diagonal, pick them the way they are from the question given there and put them in the major diagonal. Then those others should make sure to divide them by what? By half. So by doing so, what you're going to do is you create your matrix. So you need to create your matrix here and say you put numbers in the major diagonal. We have what? We have 1, 1, and negative 1. Of course, here we have a what? In the other question we have 4. So let me put the 4 here so that we can put it. So we have a 4 there. So we are going to put 1, 1, 1, 4, negative 1 like that. All right. Then now from there, what you do is you have these other numbers which are not in the major diagonal that we are dividing by half. So for instance, if you are to come here, you know that this xy, the number which is having xy should be divided by 2. So you go which one is for xy? It's this one here. Divided by 2, you are going to get a 2 here because it is a 4 here. So divide by 2, you get a 2. Then you come here, the number which is having xz, where is it? Xz is negative 8. Divide by 2, we are going to get a negative 4. So you write negative 4 here. Then you also come here, this number which is having xy should be divided by 2. Xy, where is xy? Xy is this one. Divide by 2, we get a 2. So you come and write a 2 here. Then from there you come to this one here, the number which is having yz. Where is yz? It's this one. It's a 6. Divide by 2, you come and put here. So you divide by 2, you get a 3. Then you come down here, the number which is having xz. Where is it? Xz is here. It's negative 8. Divide by 2, we get a negative 4. So you put a negative 4 here. And then you come for this one which is having yz. Where is yz? Yz is this one. It's a 6. You need to divide that number by 2, okay, for you to get the number which is here. So that is 6 divided by 2, which is going to give us a 3, like that. So once you do that, meaning that you've written the matrix of a quadratic form. Thank you so much. This is the Radical Tutor. Don't forget to follow my videos, and also don't forget to invite more people to like the page so that more people are able to watch the videos and gain their academic freedom. See you next time. Bye bye.